back to Simply Fujica, a place for budding and aspiring entrepreneurs. Guys, I do want to thank you for watching my videos and for continuing to support the channel. Guys, I know you can watch thousands of other channels, but the fact that you choose mine each and every week truly makes me happy. Makes me happy to do what I do every week for you guys. So guys, just a quick reminder, I am launching the second installment of my licensing course on March 4th. The link is live and it will be held in the video description. So guys, make sure you check it out. You don't want to wait for registration. The class is filling up, and I want to make sure that if you're ready to get licensed, that you are able to get into the class. So guys, today I thought I would do a licensing overview. If you watched a video I did a couple weeks back, you know that there has been some changes to the actual forms that you submit for licensure. And so I thought it might be a good idea to follow that video up with talking to you about what it takes to get licensed in the state of California. Okay guys, so if you're interested in that, then stay tuned. So guys, I'm going to start this video off a little bit differently because I know we have talked about the Section A documents that you need in order to get licensed, and then of course there's the Section B documents. But something I wanted to start off with is the application fee, because there are a couple of fees associated with you getting your license. You can turn in all the documents you want and get all the insurance that you need. But if you don't pay that fee, then your application is just going to sit there. So let's talk about the actual application fees. So guys, in order to get your license in the state of California, the fee is $5,603. Now I like to point out that is good for 2 years. Once you're licensed, you are actually licensed for 2 years. I also want to note, if you need to file a change of location, so if your agency changes, so let's say, because this happens actually quite a bit, let's say you are operating out of your home office and then you transfer into an actual physical office location, or even vice versa. In order to file that change with the state, that is a $100 fee. The next fee that I want to talk about is change in corporation. And guys, this actually came up while in my last course. Someone asked that question. Let's say that you want to start off as an individual, but then you end up changing your mind and you end up filing as a corporation or as a LLC. If you change corporations, then that fee is a $200 fee with the state of California. Okay guys, so we're going to start with the Section A documents. Now Section A documents is actually comprised of 7 documents. These documents are also referred to as your application forms. So this is really a chance for the state to get to know about you and how you have decided to structure your home care agency. So the first form that we are going to discuss, the first form that we are going to talk about today is the HCS281. Now this is the Home Care Organization application form. Now guys, this is more talking about who you are as an agency. So of course your name, how did you structure your business? So that means, are you an individual? Is this a partnership? Is this a corporation? Is this an LLC? So it's really just asking information in terms of, this is the application for the agency itself. Now, the second form is the HCS281, and this is the licensee applicant information. So now that you've told the state about the organization, anyone who is a part of that LLC or anyone who is a part of the agency, they are actually filling out an application individually. Okay, so let's say for instance my husband and I, we applied as an LLC together, and so I turn in an application for myself and he also turned in an application. So anyone who's represented within that company or that structure now has to fill out an individual form. The third document that we're going to talk about is the HCS308, or the designation of home care responsibility. Now guys, this is actually asking who can, in essence, speak on your behalf as it relates to your home care organization. So people look at this a little bit differently. Like I know, for instance, when my husband and I, when we got our license, we didn't feel like anyone outside of us could speak on our behalf. And so we didn't have anyone listed on that form outside of ourselves. Some of you may have office managers, some of you may have partners, some of you may have people that you trust to ensure that there's representation at your office for the length of your business hours per day. If you feel that that person can speak on your behalf, That's who you want listed on this form. Okay guys, so the next form that we're going to talk about is the HCS281. Now guys, in this form we talk about how you are structuring your agency. So whether you're a partnership, whether you're an organization, an LLC, you're actually advising the state how you structured your agency. Guys, and this includes who's your agent of service. If you're an LLC, how much ownership do you have? How much does your partner have? What ownership do they have? So it's really just asking a series of questions about your agency. The next form we're going to talk about is the HCS402, or the Employee Dishonesty Bond. Now remember, this bond does need to be in the amount of $10,000. The term of this bond is 1 year. The sixth document is the license or LIC 508 form, or your criminal record statement. Now guys, this is typically an easy form. If you don't have any convictions or anything that you need to explain, you would just go ahead and indicate that on the form. However, if there are some items that you need to include or disclose, make sure you list that information on the form. And if you need additional information, you would just supply an additional form with that, or additional piece of paper with your information on that. The last form in Section A is HCS9165. That is the Board of Directors statement. Now guys, what this form specifies, or what this form indicates, is that anyone who is on your Board of Directors, they actually know what that title and what that job represents. So that means they understand what their duties are as a Board of Directors member. Okay guys, so now we're going to jump over to the Section B documents. So I always tell people, when you do your Section A documents, this is a chance where you get to tell the state about you and your agency. Section B is more where you get to kind of prove it. You really get to talk about your business concept or your overall agency. It's really like a picture or a snapshot of the operations of your agency. So that's kind of like how I compare the items. Now in Section B, there are only 6 documents as compared to Section A, where there's 7. However, Section B is more meaty. Don't let the smaller number fool you. There's a lot more information contained in Section B. The first document in Section B is your partnership, articles of organization, or articles of incorporation. And honestly, what it is what you're turning in is depending on how you structured your organization. And so what you're showing the state here is who's responsible for what, who's performing what task in your agency. All of those things are spelled out in the appropriate document based on your organization. B2 is job descriptions, and I get this question a lot. Which job description should you be turning in? And I say this, what jobs need to be filled in order for you to start your organization? A lot of times, guys, that's just the home health aide and whoever you are. And of course, if you have a partner, what is their role? So typically that's what most people will turn in. But then you also, some people start with marketing specialists. Sometimes people have an office manager, things of that nature. And so whatever those positions are for you in your agency, you want to make sure that that is what you turn in your licensing packet. So what do you want to put into your job description? Well, at a minimum, you want to talk about the duties and responsibilities. You do want to talk about minimum qualifications needed in order to do the role, and certainly you want to make sure that the line of supervision is spelled out, or who does this person report to in the position that they actually hold. So B3 is the big one, guys. B3 are our policies and procedures. So guys, the state actually only calls out 2 topics that must be included as a part of your policies and procedures. And that is your abuse reporting processes, and then of course your hiring processes. Now guys, I actually just did a video on how to construct your policies and procedures, because when I talk to a lot of you, this is where you guys kind of get stuck, is you don't know really how to start and what to put in it. So if you haven't already, take a look at this video. I try to give you some really clear advice on how to construct those policies and procedures. However, if you feel you may need me for assistance with your policies and procedures, don't hesitate to reach out to me at simplyfujica.com, or you can email me at simplyfujica@yahoo.com. Okay guys, back to the requirements. B4, guys, is the training plan. Now the training plan is really you illustrating to the state how you plan to train up your home health aides. And not only how you're going to onboard them, but what does the continuing education look like for someone who represents your agency. So guys, the training program is going to be broken up amongst two parts. The first is entry-level training. So what training does a person receive as they onboard with you? And then secondly, what does the ongoing training look like to ensure that your home health aides remain educated as it relates to providing quality care? So guys, B5 is the program description. Now this is whether you do it as a form, you do it as a brochure. For me, when I submitted it for myself and when I submit it for my clients, I just kind of do like a paper, and this is really just giving them a snapshot of your organization. At the very minimum, you want to make sure that your program description includes your business hours, your services that you and your agency are going to provide. Last but not least, guys, you want to talk about the description of the cities or the county that you will be servicing. Last but not least, guys, B6 is your insurance requirements. So guys, just a couple of things before we get to what the state is asking for the insurance. I get asked this question a lot. So what happens, because initially, especially while you're going through the licensing process, you don't have employees, you're not operating. So it makes sense that this should be like the last thing that you're doing before you submit for licensure. Because remember, even when you submit for licensure, it may take a month or two for your application to be reviewed and approved. So with that being said, you don't want to just, as soon as you start this process, go get 2 policies. Because remember, you're going to have to pay both of those policies, right? You have to turn in active certificates with your packet. So I always tell people this should be the last thing that you do. And then remember, for your workman's comp policy, you are going to have to make some type of payment to get that policy going. But until you're actually operating, until you actually have someone working under you, you're going to be reporting 0 every month in terms of, hey, I don't have any employees, so right now we don't have any work, there's low risk. And then of course your monthly premium should reflect that. So these are items you want to discuss with your agent as you're binding the insurance. Make sure that you have a good understanding of what that looks like, okay? And you might want to share with them, hey, the first couple of months I'm going to be reporting 0 because at this point I'm just going through the licensing process. All right, so I hope that makes sense for you guys. Then secondly, your liability and general insurance. You have to have that policy active as well. So what that looks like is you're going to have $1 million per occurrence and then $3 million in aggregate. Guys, it's really important that you know those numbers and that you separate it accordingly, because I have had people bind insurance for less than that, or they kind of switch that around. That's not going to work. The state is being specific with what they need you to have here. So make sure you let that person know, I need it to be $1 million per occurrence, $3 million in aggregate, to ensure that you have adequate insurance for when you turn in this information to the state. And guys, so what needs to be included on your certificate? Well, I'm glad you asked. So the certificate must include the policy number, the effective and expiration dates of the policy, the name and address of the carrier, and then the name and address of the broker. So all of that needs to be included on the certificate in order to meet this requirement. So guys, I will make sure that the HCS281, the actual application form, is included in the video description, but that's literally all I have for you today. Don't forget to take a look at the 2 videos that I talked about earlier in the video, because that will help you tremendously as you're putting together your packet to get submitted. Okay, so guys, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I certainly enjoyed doing it for you. If you haven't already, do not forget to like this video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and do not forget to hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a new video. Which, guys, I'm proud of myself. Lately, it's been twice a week. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you. Good luck, guys, and stay blessed.